Hello everybody, I am Harsimrit and I welcome you to our session on the A, Ow and Oi sounds. All these are diphthongs. In all these sounds, we have to remember to glide from one vowel sound to the other. We have to take care to lengthen these sounds because as Indians, we habitually shorten them. First, we learn to enunciate the sounds correctly. Then we use them in words and sentences. We'll also have a lot of activities and games to reinforce our learning. At the end of the session, I'm sure all of us would use the A, Ow and Oi sounds correctly. Let us begin with the air sound. Now the air sound is a diphthong consisting of two vowels, the e and the schwa sound at the end. We have to practice saying air, air, air. It may be a little difficult for you to understand this sound, but don't worry. We've got words and sentences and lots of activities in which you can learn to identify the sound and of course also to correct your sound. But in order to enunciate the sound clearly, you must glide from one vowel to the other. First, let's practice enunciating the sound in words. A-I-R, air, air, not air. Now all of us tend to say air, but that is incorrect. What we need to say is air, air. The next word, hair, hair. Again, it should not be pronounced hair. It's not here. Here would be H-E-R-E. H-A-I-R is hair. Once more, everybody. Hair. Next, there. There. And not there. There. Next, care. Care. Next, fair, fair, share, share. Please don't worry if you find the sound a little hard to enunciate at first. Share. And everybody make sure that your friends enunciate it correctly. If somebody next to you says share, please correct that to share. Next, dare, 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 wear, wear, and the last word, prayer, prayer. So what we need to note here is that there is a habitual mispronunciation or a confusion with the sound ear, which we use in here, mere. We shouldn't confuse the two sounds. This sound is air, not air. And then of course, like I've mentioned before, we habitually mispronounce the sound. We would say things like prayer. I wake up in the morning and I say my prayers. No, I don't. I say my prayers. So once more, everybody, quickly. Air, hair, there, care, fair, share, dare, dare, wear and prayer. Now, just in case you still find it difficult to enunciate the sound, Mentally think of yourself climbing up a hill. Don't come down. Don't say no, don't come down. Just go mentally up a hill. Air, tear, prayer, share. That should do the trick. Now let's move on to an interesting exercise. You have to choose the right option between two words which are normally pronounced the same but spelled differently and which have very different meanings. Let me demonstrate with the help of the first question. I went to the barber to get a haircut. H-A-I-R or H-A-R-E? Which is the correct option? What you have on your head is called H-A-I-R, hair. But H-A-R-E would mean a kind of rabbit. So the right option is H-A-I-R. I went to the barber to get a haircut. Now you have to do all the other questions yourself. Next, Sheena is a fair girl. F-A-R-E or F-A-I-R. Next, on Ridhima's birthday, her father gifted her a teddy bear. B-A-R-E or B-E-A-R. Next, please don't stare at the stranger. Don't look at the stranger. Aankhein phad ke. Would you spell it S-T-A-R-E or S-T-A-I-R? Both the words have different meaning. Next, I bought a pair of scissors for the craft classes. P-E-A-R or P-A-I-R. Next, I will wear a red dress for the party. W-A-R-E or W-E-A-R. I think this is a very useful exercise because people habitually make these spelling mistakes and it's important for us to avoid them. Let's discuss the answers. I went to the barber to get a haircut. H-A-I-R. Next, Sheena is a fair girl. Now fair is spelled F-A-I-R. F-A-R-E means some kind of an expense for traveling, a bus fare or a train fare. On Ridhima's birthday, her father gifted her a teddy bear. B-E-A-R. What would B-A-R-E mean? Something very different. Next, please don't stare, S-T-A-R-E, at the stranger. And the other option, S-T-A-I-R, of course, means CD. Next, I bought a pair of scissors for the craft classes. P-E-A-R. We sometimes call it pear. That is wrong. It's pear. And that, of course, is the fruit which we also call nashpati. I will wear a red dress for the party. W-E-A-R. The other option, W-A-R-E, is something else. It means goods. The vendor tried to sell his wares. Goods which he would sell. Workbooks, you may read them. In fact, underline the word with the A sound as I read them. She went there to get her chair. She went there to get her chair. Next, where did you get your haircut from? Where did you get your haircut from? Next, dare you be unfair to your partner? Dare you be unfair to your partner? Next, Claire barely got her share. Claire barely got her share. And the last one, don't tear the stuffed bear. Don't tear the stuffed bear. Now the words with the A sound would be there, chair, where, hair, dare, unfair, Claire, barely, share, tear and bear. I hope you managed to identify them all. Please repeat all these words after me and let's mentally do the going uphill activity and try not to come crashing down. There. Everybody move your hands. Visualize this and you'll find it easier to do it. There. Chair. Hair. Dare. Unfair. Claire. Share. Tear. Bear. That was a good effort and keep up the hard work. I'm sure you can all enunciate the sound correctly. Now let's move on to an activity and let's have some fun. After all, we've been working so hard and we need a break. In this activity, we have to be a little mentally alert. It's a match the columns activity and you have to draw a line from column A to column B to pick the right options. Shall we start? All right. Column A, the invisible gaseous substance surrounding the earth, a mixture mainly of oxygen and nitrogen. Next, have the courage to do something. Next, fearful or anxious. Next, the money a passenger on public transport has to pay. Next, a person taking part in a sport or game. Next, a large, heavy mammal with thick fur and a very short tail. And the last one, feel concern or interest. Now you have some words given in column B and you have to match the columns. Please do it right now and then we'll discuss the options. Now let's discuss the answers. The invisible gaseous substance surrounding the earth, a mixture mainly of oxygen and nitrogen. I'm sure we all know what this is. It's the definition of air. Next, have the courage to do something. That is dare. Next, fearful or anxious. That would be scared. Next, the money a passenger on public transport has to pay. This is fare. And I think this came up in a previous activity as well. So I'm sure you've all got it right. Next, a person taking part in a sport or game. Player. A large, heavy mammal with thick fur and a very short tail. That would be a bear. And the last one, to feel concern or interest, that is to care. So far in the session, we've learned to enunciate the A sound. Now, some of you might still find it difficult to say the sound out correctly. Keep up the effort. Sometimes it takes a few days to get it right, but we do get it right. All of us do. Now, let's move on to another sound, which is also a diphthong. This is the ow sound. In this sound, we glide from the ah to the oo. Ow, ow, ow. Now, when somebody gets hurt, or if you pinch somebody, what would that person say? They'd say, ouch. It's a good way to remember the sound. Ow. Let's take up the sound in words first. Everyone to repeat after me as loudly as possible. The first word, doubt, doubt, ground, ground, sound, sound, pound, pound, mouth, mouth, loud, loud, town, town, clown, clown, frown, frown. And the last word, house, house. Again, everybody, ow, ow, ow. Can we go over the words once more quickly? Let's do that. Doubt, ground, sound, pound, mouth, loud, town, clown, frown, house. We do sometimes hear people mispronouncing the sound. For example, once I heard somebody talk about swans. Now that is, mispronounced to an awful extent. It's not swans, it would be sounds. But common examples of mispronunciation, sometimes instead of town or clown, people can shorten the sound and make it sound different. For example, a pound cannot be pronounced pond. Pond is different. It's a body of water. Pound is the British currency. Similarly, instead of mouth, take care not to say moth. Moth is an insect. Mouth is the part of the body with which we speak. Instead of loud, please don't say Lord. It sounds quite comic at times when people make these mistakes. Remember to move your mouth properly. Ow, ow, and not aw, as people sometimes end up enunciating. And now we have an interesting activity for you. You have to match the columns again, but this time to form meaningful words or phrases. It's one word cut into two parts. One part is in column A, the other part is somewhere in column B. You have to match the columns. Let me read column A for you. Out, down, and please repeat after me. Cloud, ground, thousand, round. Column B, 0, 9, about, shine, south, pounds. Now please match the two columns and we'll discuss the solutions in a minute. Let's look at the solutions. outshine, to do better than somebody. Down south, cloud nine, ground zero, 1,000 pounds, and roundabout. So that was a very interesting activity. And now let's move on to sentences with the ow sound. Now let's take up some sentences with the ow sound. They are given in your workbooks. I would like you to underline all the words in which you can hear the ow sound. And we'll discuss them side by side. The first sentence. I saw a girl frowning. The word frowning has the ow sound. And what does frowning mean? It means to look at somebody in anger. These lines on my forehead they form a frown. Next, I found my watch lying on the ground. I'll repeat. I found my watch lying on the ground. Found and ground have the ow sound. And what about watch? It has the aw sound. Next, there is no doubt about the politicians' clout. Doubt and clout would have the ow sound. Next, the clown shouted loudly for help. The words clown, shouted, and loudly all have the ow sound. The last sentence has several words with the ow sound. I'd like you to pick them all. A rowdy crowd of 5,000 was at the town to see the fair. I'll repeat. A rowdy crowd of 5,000 was at the town to see the fair. Rowdy, crowd, 1,000, town. 4 words contain the ow sound. We have another interesting activity for you. Here you have to match the columns to make meaningful words. I'll read out the first column for you, and then you have to do your work in your workbooks, of course. B blank blank. So what would fit into those blanks? Let's go down the list. The right option seems to be OW. B-O-W, bow. Now do all the others yourself. Next, T-O blank blank. C-O-U blank blank. F blank blank blank. D-A-T-I-O-N. M-O-U-N and 4 blanks. M-O blank blank E. N blank blank. And the last one, P-L blank 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 H. Now let's look at the solutions. You would have noticed, I'm sure, that all the words contain the ow sound. I want you to repeat after me as I read out the solutions. Bow. B-O-W has 2 pronunciations. One is bow, B followed by the ow sound. There's also a word called bow, in which we would use B followed by the diphthong O. Now there's a difference in the 2 words. Bow is to Bend forward at the waist in order to show respect or acknowledgement. It's a form of greeting in a way. But bow is that piece of ribbon which we tie into a fancy knot. Let's not mix up the two words. Bow and bow. Next, town, count, foundation, mountain, mouse, now, and plow. And what is the plow? It's a farming implement. Now we come to our third target sound. Do you remember what it is? Good. It's the oi sound. The oi sound is also a diphthong in which we glide from the short o to the short e. So everybody please repeat after me. Oi, oi, oi. Once more. Oi. Let's hear some words with the oi sound, and I'd also like you to repeat them after me. Oil, oil. Please note there is no year and there is no ver here. It is oil, oil. Next, oyster, oyster. And what do we get from the oyster? Yes, we get the pearl or the moti. Next, coin, coin. Did I hear somebody saying coin? It's not a coin, it's a coin. Next, boys, boys. I'll repeat, no year please. Boys. Next, toys, toys. Next, foil, foil. Toil, toil. Coil, coil. Joy, joy. And destroy, destroy. I would like you to repeat after me once more. Oil, oyster, coin, boys, toys, foil. Louder. Toil, coil, joy, destroy. And now we have an interesting activity for you. You have to unscramble the given words to make meaningful words, and all with the oi sound. Look down in your workbooks, please, and let's get to work. Did you manage to do all the words? Did you manage to unscramble them all and make meaningful words? Let's check whether our answers are correct. The words are, and I'd also like you to repeat them after me. Boil, enjoy, noise, joy, coin, boys, and royal. Now in the word royal, we use the oi and then follow it with the short schwa sound as well. Royal, royal, royal. We have practiced quite a few words that contain the oi sound. Now let's go on to practicing sentences. You have some sentences printed in your workbooks. I would like you to identify all the words with the oi sound in those sentences. The first sentence: by boiling the drinking water, you can destroy the germs in it. I'll repeat. By boiling the drinking water, you can destroy the germs in it. Boiling and destroy have the oi sound. Next, I told the boy to apply some ointment. Boy, of course, has the oi sound, and so does ointment. Now, what does ointment mean? You may have seen that ad for Iodex. Ooh, ah, ouch. So, Iodex, a kind of medicine you can rub on the skin if you feel some pain or stiffness. That's an ointment. Next, he lost his job for shouting at his employer. Listen to me carefully. He lost his job for shouting at his employer. Now the word with the oi sound is, you're right, employer. But tell me, which sound does shouting have? Correct, it's the ow sound, which we've just covered. Next, I have a 5 rupee coin in my wallet. The word coin has the oi sound. Next, water the plants regularly to keep the soil moist. Water the plant regularly to keep the soil moist. The words soil and moist have the oi sound. Now please repeat all these words after me. Boiling, destroy, boy, ointment, employer, coin, soil and moist. And now we have a very interesting activity. What can you do with the oi sound? You can do a lot with the oi sound. First, we'll practice pronouncing some words which employ the oi sound, and then you have to fill in the blanks with these words. Now please repeat after me. Employ, enjoy, voice, again, voice, royal, boil, join, noise. Now you have to fill in the blanks using these words. Here are the questions. You can blank somebody's plans. Next, you can blank the milk. You can blank a movie. You can blank your opinion. You can blank someone. You can blank hands with someone. And finally, you can get a blank treatment. Now let us discuss the answers. You can blank somebody's plans. The right answer would be foil. You can foil somebody's plans. To foil somebody's plans means to spoil somebody's plans. Act like a spoilsport. Next, you can boil the milk. I'm sure you got it right. You can enjoy a movie. You can voice your opinion. Now, voicing your opinion means to speak up and let people know what you think. I hope all of you do voice your opinion. You can employ someone, you can join hands with someone, and finally, and most importantly, you can get a royal treatment. So today we've been very busy. We've covered 3 diphthongs: the air sound, the ow sound, and the oi sound. First, we practiced enunciating these sounds. Next, we've practiced the sounds in words and sentences. We've also had a lot of activities to reinforce our learning. Now I want you to go home and to carry on with the good work. Please remember, practice makes a man perfect. And where diphthongs are concerned, we need plenty of practice. I'll see you again in some other session. Until then, bye-bye.